Hello, my name is Zane, and I will be your host for the show. Today's topic is my first podcast, and we will be discussing everything that goes into that. Whether you're listening from home, from work, or from somewhere else, I would love to hear what you think. You can drop a message however you prefer. If there's something you'd like to hear about on the show, let me know, and I will do my best to make it happen. As I said, my name is Zane. I am new to being a creator, and I hope to do the best that I can. I am going to be working on a lot of different projects in the coming days and coming weeks. It may take some time to work out all of the kinks and get everything going correctly. I know that not everything will go the way that it should, but with a little bit of patience and dedication, I feel that I can polish it into something that we can all enjoy. I would like to discuss a lot of different things, but I don't have time for everything, so I will stick to some simple subjects and kind of work around what I can from there. I work with a lot of technology. I've had a lot of hands-on experience with many different industries in the American commerce. It has been quite a journey. I've done everything from fast food to construction, technology, customer service, phone calls. I've even worked in an office. And there was one thing that it all had in common. I was doing it. That's all that mattered to me. I could have cared less that somebody else could do it better or somebody else could do it worse. I could do it better or I could do it worse. That's what really counts. There's some things that are going to be rather difficult to explain through an auditory medium. I will be making videos as well, but this show is strictly going to be a podcast. I'm going to do what I can to maintain the integrity of that and provide the best show that I possibly can. It's going to be quite a ride. I've been preparing for this journey for about 10 years. My work has all been in the shadows, to say the least. I didn't want to ruin my chance to make good content or anyone else's chance to experience it. It's a shared experience, one that I do from my end and one that you do from your end. I appreciate all of my viewers, all of my followers, all of my subscribers, everyone who likes my content, anyone who comments. You're my favorite. Anyone who shares it, you're my second favorite. It might change over time. We'll see who's my favorite in the end, I guess. All I can say is I hope that I can be good to you as you can be good to me. All I can do is continue to make content. I can't say that it's all going to be great. I can't say that any of it's going to be perfect. But I can say that with all of the experience that I have accumulated in the past 23 years, I can make it pretty good. I mean, plenty of us like to sit around and listen or sit around and watch things that are less than what we would enjoy. I wish to not do that to anyone. So if you're not enjoying yourself, come back later. There'll be more to talk about then. For now, I'm just going to lay it all out. My plan is to create a lot of content for a lot of different meanings, for a lot of different audiences. I don't expect any two people to enjoy the same piece of my content. I'm not even going to enjoy it tomorrow. When I listen to this recording again, I'm going to be very hypercritical of myself, as are many others. Without critique, not much gets done. I'm prepared for it, I expect it, and I will work with it. I don't know what everyone wants. I've dealt with a lot of people. I've done some numbers and discovered how many people I've truly worked with over the years, and knowing that just about 99% of them were happy with my work tells me that I'm doing something right. So if I can keep that up, I'd be just fine with that. I highly doubt 99% of my viewers or listeners are going to be content all the time. That's understandable. We live in a constantly evolving world. Everything around us is always changing, and so are we. We can only do so much to affect that. Change is an inevitable part of life. And with that, we do what we can. In the end, all that matters is that it was enjoyed in the moment. I'm going to be working on this podcast, some other shows, some web shows, some work on YouTube, TikTok, you name it. I'm going to be working with social media. I'm going to be doing a little bit of development in digital aspects and real world aspects. Hopefully the digital aspects will open up soon, because that will be the best way that I can interact with you and everyone else. We live in a digital world by digital means. And the best way to do that, you guessed it, digitally. I don't want that to consume my life. I want the real world aspects of my work to continue, and I want them to be just as good as the rest. Like I said, I've done a little bit of everything, and with that, hopefully, I can mediate between the two worlds and work on them both correctly. I would encourage anyone else to do the same. Everyone has their limits and everyone has their bounds. We're all comfortable with different things. That doesn't mean that we can't be good at what we do. Most importantly, we can just be good at being happy. We're going to have bad days. We're going to have horrible days. But we're also going to have good days. It's the good days that keep us going. For me, this is a great day. I made the first episode of my first podcast. I have a lot to learn about the field. I don't really know enough about podcasts, to be completely honest. This is a first for me. It's rather new. All of my content has been otherwise different. There's been some audio recording involved, but nothing was strictly that. I feel that this is different in a lot of manner. There is no camera, meaning that I'm not having to communicate in a manner that is consistent with that of videology. I'm not having to explain an image, and that allows me to focus on the subject at hand. Some of the subjects that I'm going to be going over, different topics, are going to include technology, gaming, many other things in the digital world. Digital finance is kind of a touchy subject right now, so I may or may not focus on that. Virtual reality is becoming a growing industry. Augmented reality is where it's at. Augmented reality could change everyone's lives for the better. It's a scary thing to think about for some people. A lot of us have seen those sci-fi horror movies and think it would be horrible. But there's plenty of people who use it in their everyday life. I mean, if you look around at some of the companies that you know and love, people that you buy products from all the time, people that get paid just like you and me in some way or another to get something done. Most of the time, that's just to live and be happy, because without that, you can't do what you're good at. You gotta be good at something somehow, and it starts with you. So remember to thank your bus driver, or your developer, or your cashier, because they all make it happen. Some of the real world things that I'm going to be talking about are on the other end of the same thing. In the real world, there is a salesperson to give you your virtual reality or augmented reality headset, someone to ship it to the store that you bought it from, or even run the website that you bought it off of. Those are all things that are very important to making all of this happen. We don't always think about how those things happen. Some of us do, some of us don't. Even those of us that do can't always focus on everything. So the best thing would be to just do it correctly when we can. That's really what I want to share with you, the listener, the viewer. However you may have came across this. If a friend sent you this podcast, good on them. And hopefully good for you. I don't expect to change your life drastically. I do hope that I can change it for the better, though. Even if it's just purely for the sake of entertainment, to hear someone talk about things in a light that is new, maybe and bring some humorous aspect to it. There are many things that I'm going to talk about that aren't going to be very humorous at all. Sometimes the real parts of life hurt. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging that. I will be more than happy to put a disclaimer on any of my less than positive content. So do not be wary. I will always let you know. I do not like to startle people. I do not like to upset them. There is a time and a place for everything, and here, this is not the time or place for something like that. This is not just for entertainment, but it is for entertainment at a point in time. Meaning, as I said earlier, I do not want to ruin that for anyone. There's a lot of new budding industries. There's a lot of new budding entertainment. Everything in this world is constantly growing. Our lives are getting better by the day. Sometimes it may not seem that way. Sometimes it may seem like it's getting out of hand. For every high, there is a low, right? With balance, things tend to fall into place. I would love to mention that as often as possible. Balance is one of the most important things in life. For every one side, there is another. Here, I will be discussing them both, but I will be doing so in a manner that is appropriate. I don't want it to be misconstrued in any way. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I don't want to bring up anything unnecessary. I will keep it as clean as possible. Some other things that I will discuss are going to include everyday activities, things that don't really revolve around work, things that don't really revolve around content, just everyday parts of a healthy life. I personally enjoy health, fitness, if you will. It's probably one of those things that isn't going to be popular. Opinionated subjects are very low on the list of things that people want to hear. That's not what I'm here for. Education is one of my favorite things, so I would love to educate. Discussion is even better to me. To be able to simply discuss things that we are all itching to speak of, things that we just want to talk about. If there's something that anyone could be reminded of, I hope that I can do it here in a way that is constructive, fun, entertaining, positive, and uplifting. There's a lot of art in our lives. Some of us appreciate it. Some of us appreciate it more than others. That's okay. We all have our own taste. Almost everything we look at every day in this world was made by someone. That took a lot of creative effort. It took a lot of willpower. And it took a lot of strength to make it happen. That's something that we should appreciate. There's no need to overthink it. There's no need to obsess with something that is as simple as life. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. But if you're feeling down today, look around for something that you like and tell yourself what it is that you like about it. It might open a window. For today's discussion, I believe that brings everything to an end. If there's anything that you would like to hear me talk about, anything that you would like to ask about the show, about what I'll be discussing, feel free to message me in the comment or through social media. Whatever means works for you. The show is meant for everyone who will enjoy it. If there's anything I can do to make that experience more pleasurable, I would be more than happy to do so. Thank you for listening. if you made it all the way through the show. I appreciate you. I hope to see you next time.